This is yoga for stress.
Stress relief.
Stress relief. Not to give yourself stress.
Yes.
Welcome back. This is day 4 of the 30-day yoga challenge, yoga for stress relief. And actually something stressful happened while recording this video, which was that the autofocus wasn't turned on, and so the actual whole video was out of focus. So that's a little bit stressful for me. So I'm actually re-recording the video right now. And if yoga doesn't occur to you as being something that's helpful for stress, it doesn't occur to you in the moment to think like, yeah, you know what I could really use right now, like while my mind is racing and while I have all of this really stressful stuff or anxiety-provoking things in my life, yeah, I really need to slow down and do some like slow meditative stretching postures. I get it. And I'm going to meet you where you're at. So rather than telling you to slow down and just feel relaxed, instead, yoga for stress relief is about showing up to where you're at in the moment. We're going to be doing some movement with breathing to get us centered into the moment, and then helping us to eventually slow down. It's almost like, imagine like your mind is here, and so we're gonna catch up with our minds and then set the pace to slow it down. That's what yoga for stress relief is all about. So with that being said, let's start this practice by finding yourself in a comfortable seat, Sukhasana. Now what I'm going to recommend is that you find yourself seated in Sukhasana on the ground. If sitting on the ground isn't workable for you, that's okay. I'm gonna give you some adaptations for being in a chair. Now, what we mean by Sukhasana, easy pose, this is meant to be a long-held meditative pose. We're not gonna hold it for too long. We're gonna get kind of rolling into this yoga practice, but here's what I want you to do. Sitting on the ground with your legs crossed. Now, you may need to lean from side to side in order to move the flesh away from the sit bones, so you get a little bit more of a flatter seat onto the ground. If this is already causing some strain and some stress, which it very well might be, go ahead and grab a towel or a pillow and prop yourself up on it. What you want to do is have your pelvis tilted forward so you can sit nice and tall through the spine, but be tilted forward ever so slightly. Alternatively, if sitting on the ground is not accessible to you, I understand. You can sit on a chair with your feet flat on the ground, and let's just go ahead and place our hands on our laps. Take an inhale, press through the crown of your head, breathe in, notice what you're feeling in this moment. Exhale, soften your jaw, soften the muscles around the shoulders. Let yourself be tall, but not rigid. Remember that even trees, with all of their height, they still have a level of flexibility to them. If they're rigid, they break. When the wind blows, trees bend with the wind. Allow yourself to be tall, but not rigid. Allow there to be flexibility in your posture. And on your next inhale, let's go ahead and reach our arms up. Breathing in as you lift, lifting the gaze. Exhale, bring your hands down to your heart center. And really breathe through the nose. Let your breath move in an audible way. Inhale, breathe in all the way. Lifting the gaze, exhale, bring your hands back down to your heart center. Repeat this 3 more times on your own. Breathing in to reach up. Exhale, the hands come down to heart center. Pausing here, allowing your vision to be fixed just over top of you, the tops of your fingers. Maybe your vision goes out of focus. Without closing your eyes all the way, you may wish to allow your eyes to flutter shut, but only close to the point where you can still let a little bit of light in. There's still a little bit of sensory experience of light there. Inhale to press through the crown of the head, find that height through the spine. Exhale, tuck the chin. feel the palms pressing together. Feel places where you feel warmth in the body or other sensations. Inhale to breathe in. Exhale to hinge at your hip. If you're seated on the floor, reach your hands forward as you hinge at the hip, folding all the way forward, pressing your hands out and allowing yourself to come into a forward bend. If you're seated on a chair, just allowing your upper body to drape over your legs, over your thighs, and to let your arms hang low. Still in this fold, breathe in. Now you don't have any lungs in your low spine, so I can't invite you to breathe into your spine. But what I can do is invite you to simultaneously inhale to reach forward. Exhale to let your body go heavy. And notice the lengthening through your spine. Noticing the push-pull of gravity weighing you down, and also of your spine, of your pelvis, of everything being held together through connective tissue, bones, skin. Just feeling your body here. Let's take one more inhale, nice and deep in this forward fold. Breathing in, really feeling the body press down as you breathe in, feeling the increased buoyancy, feeling your body get larger. Exhale, breathe out. Let your body go heavy. Feel the weight of your body pressing down. Now if you're seated on the ground, go ahead and reach your hands forward, spread through the fingers. And if you're seated on a chair, maybe using your shins for some support, inhale, press in, lift up nice and slow, back in to our easy pose, back into our meditative posture here. We'll inhale to sweep our arms up. Exhale to bring your hands down to heart center. If you're on the ground, go ahead and place your fingers pointing away from you, down on the mat behind you. And if you're on a chair, you may wish to just place your hands on the back of the chair and kind of scooting yourself forward so that the back of the chair isn't supporting you. Let's go ahead and lift our heads, lifting our vision, not letting the neck go back too far, lengthening through the spine to just create a little bit of a back bend here. Looking back behind you and noticing any pressure that gets placed on your low back. If you feel the temptation to step the hands back quite far, see if you can avoid that, keeping your hands nice and close to the buttocks, nice and close to the body. I know that this is a very small stretch, so it may not feel like we're doing some incredible feat of yogi pretzel making out of our bodies here, any yogi contortions, but let's just be in this back bend for a moment. When you feel ready, putting a little more weight into the hands, bringing the head forward, coming forward, back into our easy pose, back into Sukhasana here, finding a comfortable seated posture. One more inhale to sweep the arms, lifting the gaze. Exhale the hands back to heart center. For this next portion, I'm going to invite you to go ahead and get on all fours. So you're going to stack your hands underneath your shoulders, wrists right underneath the shoulders. Go ahead and stack your hips over top of your knees and really check out your posture here to make sure that your alignment matches up. When I say hips stacked over knees, that's what we mean by a hips width apart. So we want the knees to be on the ground. And if the ground is a little bit of a hard surface, don't be afraid to pad the knees with whether it's a towel, a yoga mat, anything that you can put down there to be a little softer and a little more squishy for you. If you're on a rug, make sure that you're not about to get any rug burn. This is why sometimes wearing pants is helpful during these more slower meditative yoga classes when we're not really trying to get sweating. So with the shoulders stacked over the wrists, let's spread our fingers nice and wide to protect the wrists. And if this becomes too much for you, if the sensations in the wrists become too intense, don't be afraid to make fists out of the hands and to come up onto your knuckles rather than having your fingers spread with the palms flat. From a nice, flat, neutral spine, I'm going to invite you to begin with just the pelvis. And almost like you're tilting your pelvis forward, pouring water from your pelvis, just starting to tilt the pelvis down. Continuing that action, allowing the spine to drop, the belly becomes loose. And last, just begin to lift the head ever so slightly, looking forward. And allow your gaze to be soft past the tip of your nose, just looking off into the distance, but with a soft focus. We're not playing, spot something in the room or look for something in particular. We just want a nice, distant gaze that's nice and soft here. It's not about what you're seeing, it's about being in your body. And now, once again, beginning with the pelvis. So we have the pelvis tilted forward. I'm now going to invite you to begin just by turning the pelvis back and rounding through the pelvis, tucking it underneath, then moving through the spine, lifting through the spine, and then last, dropping the head. So here we've transitioned into what's called an angry cat posture. So you can imagine, especially around Halloween, they have those pumpkins that are carved, or the iconography of black cats that are, with their backs arched. That's exactly what we're going for here. Beginning with the pelvis again, this time untucking the pelvis and starting to tilt forward, coming back, dropping the belly, dropping the spine, and last lifting the head on an inhale, breathing in. The gaze is soft, past the nose. Take one more breath here, and take the full length of your exhale to begin to tuck the pelvis, lift through the spine, and last, dropping the head. Go ahead and repeat this a few times on your own. Inhaling, and then exhaling. Taking the full length of an inhale to get into your cow posture with the belly loose, the pelvis tilted, and the full length of an exhale to tuck the pelvis, arch through the spine, and to drop the head into your angry cat. In your own time, coming back to a flat, neutral spine. So whether you're in this cat posture or a cow pose, wherever you're at, just allow yourself to come back to a flat, neutral spine. Shoulders stacked over your wrists, fingers spread nice and wide to protect your wrists, hips stacked over your knees. Now, go ahead and just allow your head to drop, bringing your head closer and closer to the mat. And then pressing back ever so slightly, not so that the buttocks comes in contact with the heels, but just enough so that your head can make contact with the floor. Now, it may be necessary for you here to use a pillow or, again, a folded towel to support your head so that if your head can't touch the ground, number one, or number two, if it's just uncomfortable for your head to be in this posture. The elbows are going to bend as you come down, and then you may wish to bring the arms parallel to the body, reaching back towards the heels. This is a rabbit pose. See if you can inhale deeply. Again, we don't have any lungs in our low back, but we can breathe in to that part of our body. We can feel the body expand. Allow yourself to breathe in to the spine. Notice where you feel your breath in your body. And if you can't reach back and touch your heels, that's okay. Allow yourself to find a supportive or passive posture with your arms. Breathing here, noticing the sensations of what it's like to be in this moment. And without any need to try and feel something in particular or to feel an instant moment of relaxation, let yourself be with whatever is in this moment, here, showing up with you. With your head down, with your arms in this relaxed posture, could you let stress be here with you in this moment? It's not like we can chase stress away or tell it to get lost, and it actually listens to us. So see if there's some possibility of you finding stillness in this posture, allowing yourself to be still in the presence of stress. Let's have one last breath on purpose here. Breathe in all the way. Exhale. Go ahead and reach the arms forward, spreading through the fingers again to protect the wrists, and we'll begin to shift the body weight up as you lift out of this pose. You may wish to come back onto all fours and just allow yourself a moment to kind of wag through the hips and just find some motion in the body. Allow yourself to be a little flexible. You may wish to make fists and rotate through the wrists, whatever works for you here. And finally, to finish off our practice today, we're going to practice a Vajrasana, thunderbolt pose in yoga. So here, with the knees, bring them closer together. They don't need to touch, but the closer that you can bring them together, the better. You don't want your knees to be at a hip's width apart. With the tops of the feet flat on the ground, you may wish to sit back. Now, if this becomes difficult for you, if you have difficulty actually pressing your butt down onto your heels, know that that's not necessary. You don't have to do that in this posture. What I'm going to recommend though is that you use a towel that's folded up several times to place over top of your ankles to support your body. Because remember, the aim here isn't to go for a super intense stretch. The aim here is to be able to find some stillness in this posture, to create a stretch, but without the need to tear at our muscles or any of those tissues. So let's go ahead and use a pillow or a towel if you're having difficulty sitting with the flesh of your butt pressing down into your heels. With your hands, I'm going to invite you to set them down over top of your knees. And I should talk about the knees as well. If your knees are feeling a little bit tense, you may need to take some of that weight off the heels. You may need to lift yourself up. Alternatively, you may also need to put something underneath the knees in order to keep you nice and comfortable there. So finding what you need to make some comfort in this posture, placing the hands over the knees. Take a moment here to feel what it's like to be in this pose. Breathe in and exhale. Notice what that feels like in the body. You may wish to press through the crown of your head on your next inhale, finding some length in the spine, and exhaling to tuck the chin, allow the shoulders to relax, allow the jaw to relax, maybe the tongue, softening your gaze. And from here, I'm going to invite you to lift the arms, holding them out parallel to the ground. Bending the right elbow, holding the right hand, fingers pointed up, with the left elbow coming underneath the right elbow. We're going to wrap the arms around into what's called eagle arms. Looks a little like this. Depending on your level of mobility, this might be inaccessible to you. For some people, eagle arms looks like this. For some people, like this. For some people, just bringing the elbows together is enough for one day. Find a place where you're able to position your right arm above the left arm and where you're able to cross the right elbow over the left elbow. And come back to your posture. How's your spine doing? How's the length through your spine doing? Can you press through the crown of your head? Sit tall. How are your knees and hips doing? Maybe bring a little wiggle to your toes. We haven't forgotten about our toes. Take 2 breaths here on purpose. Allowing yourself to fully experience this moment and the benefits of this practice. Inhale, lifting the arms a little higher. Exhale, unwrap the arms, let them fall down beside your body. Maybe shake them out a little bit, wiggling through the fingers, wiggling through the wrists, rotating through the wrists. Coming back, just sitting up with the hands flat on the body, hands draped over the knees. Inhale. Exhale, allow your vision to soften. And on your next inhale, reaching the arms forward, bending the left arm, pointing the left fingers up, and then bringing the left elbow over top of the right elbow and wrapping the arms. Finding your eagle arms on this side of the body. If it looks different than the other side, if you have more mobility, more flexibility, or less, just notice that. But experiment with it, like really show up to what kind of mobility you have in your arms on this side. And check in with your posture. Have you collapsed through the shoulders and chest? Could you benefit from rolling back a little bit, pressing up through the crown of the head and tucking the chin? What's the quality of your breath like in this moment? Just breathe and allow yourself to be with your breathing. One more inhale to lift the arms a little higher. And on your exhale, unwrap the arms, drop them down, shake them out, wiggling through the fingers, rotating through the wrists. We'll finish by placing our hands over top of the lap, allowing the eyes to close if it's comfortable for you. I'm going to invite you to take 3 breaths on purpose here. Inhaling to breathe in whatever sensations you're noticing in your body. Exhaling to come back to the sensations of breath, to just be with your breathing. Inhaling to notice any thoughts that might be on your mind, any thinking that could be occurring to you right now. Acknowledging that. Exhaling to come back to the breath, to just be here in the body. And one last time, breathing in, noticing any emotional qualities that are showing up, any feelings. And breathing out to be with the breath, to notice its sensations in your body. You did it. This is the end of Yoga for Stress Relief, day 4 of the 30-day yoga challenge. Congratulations. Thank you for letting me be on this journey with you. Let's end our practice by just bringing our hands to heart center, wherever you are. Take a breath on purpose. And in this moment, I just wish to share with you that the light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much. Make sure that you're subscribed to get more of this and hit that bell icon. And share it with your friends, because you never know who in your world could benefit from slowing down and practicing yoga in their world. Thanks so much.